So let's go on by exploring the different types of cameras. Firstly, you have the compact camera, which is also called the point and shoot, because literally you put it in your hand, you turn it on, you point, and you click. And it's as simple as that. So it's really easy to have on you. And also, as the name might suggest, it's small, it's pocket-sized, and it's portable. So it's really great to have on you. Although I know in terms of photography, a lot of photographers, we do tend to use the DSLRs, but I'll go to that in a minute. Compact cameras have a great zoom, similar to bridge cameras. This is great for if you're taking candid shots, if you're taking portraits of, for example, families, pets, even jewelries, but it's not so good at landscapes just because of the small aperture range. Now, a good thing to mention about the compact cameras, some are waterproof, so that gives a big advantage compared to DSLRs, which I strongly suggest you don't drop it in water, because then that's the end for it, basically. So next camera we have is the smartphone cameras, which you always have on you, so it really eliminates the need to bring another camera nowadays, unless you actually want to go out for the purpose of taking a picture. Really, they've kind of phased out the need for compact cameras. On the smartphones nowadays, there's lots of apps that you can control a lot of things on your smartphone, which is great obviously for photography, because some of the functions of some apps you can even control the aperture, which is awesome. Okay, next we have the bridge camera, which is similar to a DSLR really, but the main difference is you cannot change the lens. So this brings up its own problems because you're stuck on the standard lens. It makes your aperture a lot limited, to be honest, because on a DSLR, if you want, for example, aperture setting of f1.1, you could then change your lens for a lens that will let you go that low. Bridge cameras, you can't, so you're stuck with whatever lens that's already fitted on your camera in terms of that. Because of its limits on the aperture, it means that you struggle a little bit when it gets to landscapes, but anything zoomable, it is a great camera because the zoom on that is quite brilliant, to be honest. If not a little bit better zoom generally than a DSLR, so that is one advantage it has over the DSLR. I heard of one photographer with the bridge camera. He was actually able to get a photograph of the plane, but on the plane you can even see the text on the plane, so that's how much his bridge camera zoomed. So yes, they have very powerful zoom on them. So next we have the DSLR cameras, which DSLR is short for digital single lens reflex. And this is the most popular with photographers because it gives you the most power. And in terms of the price point, it is still quite cheap when you compare DSLRs to medium formats or even mirrorless cameras. So DSLRs, it gives you an option to go fully manual, which, as I said, it gives you all the control. You can control exactly what aperture you want, shutter speed you want. If you want an aperture that's your lens limits you, you can just change the lens because the lenses are interchangeable on the DSLRs. So that's why a lot of photographers flock to DSLRs. DSLR also has an automatic and a semi-automatic mode. So even if you're a beginner, you can actually still use it quite well and then grow with your camera. So I think that's why it's so popular.